Hi, it's me again, and today we are going to dispel the myth that healthy greens and sweets do not mix. Most people will tell you that healthy chlorophyll-filled greens that are good for you, such as barley grass, spirulina, and the dreaded wheatgrass, cannot possibly be mixed with something good like, say, chocolate. But I am here to tell you that is simply not true. I have all these ingredients here with which we are going to debunk that greens cannot be delicious. Yes, they can. And I'm going to show you in about 20 minutes, give or take, how easy, how quickly, and how simply you can make a green that you will want to eat. Okay? Let's get started. I have for you 8 of these guys. Medjool dates. Delicious? Sweet? Sorry, my necklace. Live TV, what are you gonna do? 8 of these delicious little Nature's Perfect caramel. I'm gonna cut up and pit 8 of these, which will then be blended with some walnuts for a good nutty, oily protein. Now you can do this with cashews if you want, totally fine. Any nut that's really mild and has a lot of oil. So let me get pitting, and when you're pitting dates, you want to make sure that they all look really nice inside. You know, they're not too dry or they don't have little spots inside them, which may mean they're not so fresh. So here's 1, 2. Dates are pretty much the base for most sweets you're gonna make because they are this thick and decadent and have this amber caramel taste that is just so good with everything. So, sorry, need to toss the hair. And, okay, that's 5, 3 to go. So while I'm pitting these dates, I will continue talking to you about the ingredients. And I already told you about the walnuts. Cashews are pretty just fine. And it takes a while to pit dates, it really does. Okay, so these are all very pretty. Have a look in there. Yeah, very nice. Now, they will go into the blender cup. I use a NutriBullet because it goes really fast. It turns this into a paste, and the secret to making an efficient date paste is what I say earlier: oily, nutty walnuts. Look at this guy. Ooh. So you're gonna take about a handful of them, because the key here is oily, 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 okay? I did 2.5 handfuls because, you know, who doesn't like buttery stuff, right? I'm a vegan, so I can't necessarily say I like the same kind of butter, but plant-based butter, okay? Okay, so 1 second and we will blend this up. Have to get my hands all de-sticky. And get this blender cup onto its blade. Now it may so happen that I might put some cute background music that's a lot more pleasant than a blender whirring, but in case I don't, cover your ears. Okay, 1, 2. I gotta pulse it a little. Little bit chunky. And I think we got it. I'm gonna show you guys in a minute. Hold on. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, that is chunky. Just the way we need it. And let me just get it off the blade. here. Okay, this is what you're looking for. Very nice. Very smushy. See? Very cool. Now it's brown right now, but it's gonna get greened up. Okay, we got nuts and date paste ready. And now you're going to want about, I would say, a tablespoon of sunflower seeds, because too little and you won't notice them. There won't be much of a crunch. Too much and it may be slightly bitter. Here you go. Now you don't blend these, remember? The seeds stay whole. And an equal amount of sesame seeds. They should be like this. Oh, let me just show you guys. Voila. I highly recommend the unhulled, which means skin removed. The skin not removed. Because the skin is actually the really tasty part of the seed, and most people remove them. Can't imagine why. So, seeds. And you're gonna want your coconut oil. Now is a very good time. I would say about a tablespoon as well. Oh, and you guys, when you use coconut oil, make sure to leave it out of the refrigerator for a bit. That is, if you're like me, and keep it in the fridge so it gets nice and soft and creamy and easy to get out of the jar. So you don't have to do that ice cream scoop versus pint bucket battle with something frozen and impossible to scoop up. So, maybe a little more coconut oil. All right. I'll keep trying to show you guys progress as I go. I think this is good. Ah! I told you, live TV. And coconut oil in. Now, this is a Greene Candy. It will still be green, but everyone needs a little bit of chocolate somewhere. Very few self-respecting candies go chocolateless. English. So, you're gonna need a clean, dry spoon, just some cacao powder. What you want is raw cacao. It is slightly lighter. Ooh, little dust cloud. It is slightly lighter than the cocoa powder used to because it has not been Dutch processed. And this is what is usually done to cocoa powder. It removes a lot of nutrients, tends to be overheated, so you lose a lot of the benefits, but cacao powder has all the good stuff in it. And I'm gonna need one big spoon like this. Now let me check with my recipe to make sure it is 1 spoon. Oh, okay, it's 1.5. So 1.5. And as I told you, candy dough is brown first, and then it will magically change color. Yeah. Ugh. Opening jars with sticky fingers, always a struggle. Now, pinch of salt. Aha, I can just give it a little dusting. Ooh. Yep. Word to the wise, coconut oil should stay in candy, in its jar, occasionally on your skin when you need moisturizing, not on the jar of salt that goes back into the pantry. Okay. Now, here is where things get very up to you, very DIY. I had raisins in mine because I love that kind of fruity, chewy little surprise of something extra sweet in the middle of the sweet. But if you really want to go decadent with this, if you want to go borderline unhealthy, you might want to go with chocolate chips. But another word to the wise, chocolate chips are not unhealthy in themselves, only if they have dairy or sugar. These are the bullies to your health you want to avoid. Seriously. So, chocolate chips are equally wonderful. They don't compromise the health value of the candy at all. Stick with dairy-free, sugar-free if possible. But if you do not opt for chocolate, I would go with the raisins myself. Dried blueberries are also really, really nice. So let me get this open. A good handful will do ya. A little bit. Just a sprinkle. You don't want it to take over the candy mass just yet. All right. And now, although dates are very, very sweet, we do need honey in here. Why? Because with the cacao powder and the strong chlorophyll taste of the greens, you're gonna want to sweeten this candy a little more so it doesn't get bitter in any way. Now, 1 tablespoon of honey is going to be perfect. Sometimes I feel a little bit bad about using extra honey because dates are already sweeteners in themselves. But sometimes you really just can't help it. So I still do it guilt-free within this reason and logic. Even though I know I do this knowingly that somewhere in the world, actually a couple rooms away, there is a tiny lady I refer to as my mother who is just shaking her head and thinking, it's already sweet. Why are you putting dates? Why are you putting honey? You already put dates. And I tell her, Mom, do you want sweet candy or do you want not so candy? So we got all the main ingredients in. Please excuse me as I'm trying to get honey off my fingers. And now the Technicolor begins. Now, here we go. You're going to want about a packet this big of your green powder. This here is some wheatgrass. Oh yeah, the green is happening. This is about 0.28 ounce, and it's roughly, I would say, equivalent to a tablespoon, maybe? It's just enough. So, if you can't find a packet like this, you will probably scoop about a tablespoon out of the jar of wheatgrass powder. Make sure it's freeze-dried and organic. Gosh, where are these? Scissors. Oh. You might want to pay extra attention to every ingredient you pick up because there might be a little tear-off strip. Alright. And incoming. See the dusty stuff. Just pretend it's Tinkerbell fairy dust. It is green after all. Behold. As I told you, green, Tinkerbell, fairy dust. But the green is about to get the volume turned up. Now, important note on spirulina. When you buy spirulina powder, number 1, make sure it's organic. You do not want any pesticides in your candy. Number 2, give spirulina a good smell. Now, the way you can find good spirulina is by smell. If it smells very green with only a little bit of funkiness, that's okay. If it smells a little too strong, there's a great possibility that it can be either overprocessed or too old. And that's when you smell it, and there's the usual green smell, and it smells funky, but it doesn't smell like, well. Okay. Now let's find out how much powder so I know. Well, surprise, surprise, it's not on the ingredient list because I thought the wheatgrass would be enough when I wrote the original draft and made the original test. But I later found out you need the spirulina, not only for additional green color, but additional benefits too. Alrighty. Now spirulina is very strong, very pigmented. So, gonna wanna go a little easy on it. I would say a little bitty teaspoon, not your regular size teaspoon, but a small one, like, I'll clean that up, like this. Not too big, like literally a teaspoon, a spoon you stir tea with. I think this will do it. It's level, it's full. Oh my goodness. Can you check out, it looks black on camera, but I assure you it's a very deep, rich emerald green. Woo! Look at the candy mountain. Now, this part is a little bit tricky unless you're comfortable working with your hands, which I am. So let me just get in there. Little tip, you might want to start with the side with the cacao powder so you don't get the green all over your fingers. Okay, let's get this going. I will definitely fast forward this when it's actually being put through the video editing because it does take a little bit, but I find it relaxing though. And also, if you're making this with a friend, it's a really good opportunity for conversation. You know, to talk a little bit about everything, about your job, about school, about whatever you're craving other than candy, your dreams, your passions, all this stuff. So yeah, you never know what great conversations or great stories might happen around the bowl of candy mix. At least that's my experience. And keep on rolling. You want to go squish and lift, squish and lift. No, this isn't an exercise workout tape. Squish and lift. Keep going. Keep on rolling. Okay, it's starting to change color. Starting to take on a little earthy, crusty, topographic look. This is good. This means things are getting incorporated nicely. And when you finish mixing thoroughly, if you notice it's not green enough, just add a little more, maybe wheatgrass or a little more spirulina, whatever you're comfortable with. There's a distraction outside. I'm trying not to pay attention. It's just my mom. She knows I'm recording, so she's going like, she's a goof like me. Now I know where I get it. My dad has a sense of humor as well, but my mom, she's definitely the one who stuck her tongue out at random adults when she was a kid. And I'm glad. I think everyone should have that kind of playfulness in life. I mean, I don't recommend just sticking your tongue out at strangers when you're in a car, but I mean, figuratively, you know. And especially play with your food. That's how you learn new recipes. Okay. Okay, good news. Mixed very well. Not so good news, it's not green. How do we fix this? Spirulina to the rescue. Just a little bit. Ooh. Ooh. Tell me guys, are these hands I should be opening jars with? Oh my gosh, that's all over my nails. It's all over my nails, dude. Look at that. Hey, trust me, I love green nail polish, but not like this. Alrighty. Okay. We need to kick up the green a notch. So, just a little, go easy. Remember, we don't want it tasting like the ocean. Oh, for the record, because spirulina is blue-green algae, don't be under the misconception that it smells like fish. It does not smell like fish. It smells like seaweed, which doesn't really have a smell. As someone who's eaten a lot of homemade vegetarian sushi, I just learned to make it the other day. A lot of kelp, kombu, dulse. Seaweed tastes pretty good. It doesn't taste like too green or aggressive or anything. But those are the seaweed types I'm familiar with. And spirulina has a very green flavor, but not unpleasant when mixed with other things. So, but still, be careful. Okay. Let's give this another go. Alrighty, now mix, fold. Now squish and lift. Squish and lift. Now I can't promise you it'll be a perfect emerald green, but you will taste it, that's for sure. If you find it's still too brown rather than green, ease up on the cocoa powder. But, oh, I think we're really greening up now. It's very hard to see on camera, but I think it's greening up. I'll also give it a taste for you to see if I can add a little more to bring out the color of the candy. So, okay, I'm gonna try a little teensy bit. No, TV style, where I don't get any in my teeth, because you guys don't want to see that. Here. Okay. It's sweet. Okay, the sweetness has not been compromised. This is very good. Now, let's try a little bit more. Okay, a little bit back in the jar. Alrighty. Okay, let's try this roll again. But the taste so far is on point. It's perfect. Just was missing a little tick of the green though. I'm sorry I can't put the camera closer for you guys to see this in detail, but I can show you right here. Okay? Yes, it will stick to the bottom of the bowl like that. You're gonna wanna, let's squish, lift, squish, lift. It's a good thing if it falls apart. That means you have a good consistency. Okay, then scrape off any stuck spirulina powder on the side of the bowl. And remember how important it is to taste every time you add something, because if you add too much of something, you'll know it, and you'll learn the hard way that it's important to taste. Okay, let's do this again. Okay. Mm-hmm. You roll it tiny like this. Now let's try it again. Mmm. 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 It's starting to come through, but I was silly to put back that little bit on the spoon. That's why I say don't be afraid to play with ingredients and mix ingredients, but keep tasting as you go, so you know you're making something really good and that you enjoy eating. I really think this will be it. I promise you're not going to spend the next couple of hours watching me add little bitty spoons of spirulina to the same recipe. Okay. Oh, that color is coming in. Remind me, you guys, did I put the raisins? I hope I did. I should find one soon enough. Because I really wanted to add every ingredient and leave the green for the last so you could see the magical transformation. All of a sudden, it goes from bland to green and vibrant. I would call this deep green vibrant for sure. Think of a really dark forest, like a fairy tale forest green. Yeah? Okay. Taste number 3. Let's see. Taste a bit of this like this. Yep, found a raisin. You guys, I don't know what happened. It ain't tasting green enough. I think I'm worried about freaking you guys out with too much green, so I'm kind of going very easy on it. I think this is probably the 3rd tiny tablespoon I've added. Oh, I know my mom's freaking out in some other room. But she does have an acquired taste for green. Let's go. Let's add one more. Level spoon, always. Woo. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the last because we have got wheatgrass in there, guys. It's there. The amount of green should be to taste. I don't think you gotta lump in so much green for it to be good for you and guilt-free snacking. No, it has to taste good and be at the level of green you can handle. So, since I'm using the small teaspoon, you know, the teaspoon, I think this is about 4, which may be equal to maybe 1 tablespoon at this point. But again, experiment. Have fun with it. And I think we have a good candy dough. Give it a little spanking. Let's see. Oh, I think the camera does capture a little of the green. So now comes the last step of rolling. So I'm gonna roll a few for you guys to see. So you just get an idea of how to finish the preparation. Let me just lift the top of this little bento box I keep my sweets in. And let me go do something about these hands. Well, this hand. To roll some sweets. Okay. It's rolling time. I'll do my best to keep you entertained while I roll these. Now, this size of a dough mass should yield roughly, probably 17 of these. Usually I average between 17 and 20, which is a lot. Unless you're like me and tend to like your snacks while watching a good movie. Okay, you want to roll like this. You take a piece that's about the size of your thumb. My thumb is fairly small. So you will adjust. But just about bite-sized pieces is good. And it must be shiny and reflective, just a little bit. Can't quite see myself, but good enough. Well, there's one. Hi. Distraction. Someone was needing to go outside. No, rolling, rolling, rolling. Rolling down the river. Actually, I've never been to the river. Oh, I did once go to I think it was it Lettuce Lake Park in Tampa? I don't know, but they had a really cool lookout tower that let you see the Hillsborough River. It was really nice. I think it was close to my birthday at that time. I had my birthday this past Sunday. It was fun. Like I mentioned earlier, I learned to make homemade vegetarian sushi. You know, the California roll things. They're so good. Oh gosh, I wonder if it's inappropriate to talk about a whole different kind of food while I'm making this one. But we're just talking. I made the food. We're just passing the time. We're just chatting now. I rolled 4. I want to show you the basket when it's full because it's gonna look so good. Now, you know, if you guys are bored watching me roll candies, you're not the only one. My phone wants to give up on me too. It's 15%. It's done with me. But that's alright. I can't imagine any of you guys wanting to watch me roll candies all day. So I'll just do a quick cut so you see the final product. Look, you guys, the final finished product. Look at those glossy, shiny, sweet little candies. Actually, let me move them into the sun. Oh, yeah. Look how summery they are. Let's try this angle. Ooh. You can see the sesame seeds. And from all the tasting I did, which was a little bit much, they are very chewy. They have a little crunch from the sesame and the sunflower seeds and that little delicious smush from the raisins. You know, when you reach a piece of dried fruit and it's that little squishy, delicious, smushy, extra sweet to complement the sweet you already have. Now, I was almost right in my estimate of the yield, and it is actually 21, I believe. Am I right, you guys? Can I count? All right, so since you were patient and really sweet to watch me cook, or uncook, as the case may be, this is raw, please like and subscribe if you want to see more food. Thank you so much for taking the time to share my recipe with me. I hope you try making it, and if you give it a shot, please let me know. Again, hit me with a like on JUHF channel, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.